I am Suzanne Legrand, and this is The Case of the Missing Home. A shaman goes into dream time, into unseen levels of reality to seek a cure, not just for the person afflicted, but for the entire human collective. Joyce's situation, or mine, is but one expression of the larger housing crisis that is happening everywhere. This is how it happened in Portland. In the early 2000s, middle-class retirees from California and dot-commers found their dollars bought so much more in Portland. Suddenly, Portland became a hot housing market. Developers and couples with means vied to pay cash on older houses, which they immediately knocked down, uprooting old trees, and leveled to make way for bigger and better. On the lots where a one-family home once stood with a yard, new houses were built 4 times larger, with walls that went right to the edge of the property line. No yard, just big enough to contain the cathedral-ceilinged rooms and multiple cavernous walk-in closets these new houses found necessary to contain. Meanwhile, a television show fired up the imagination of a new generation of millennials willing to move cross-country to be part of the counterculture that, according to the television show, had an actual physical headquarters in Portland. In a matter of months, rents doubled, then tripled. Those who had lived in the inner city were pushed out by rising property taxes. Empty lots became new apartment buildings overnight. People who could built ADUs as homeowners scrambled to get into the Airbnb business. The rents kept rising as the actual numbers of places one could possibly afford to rent dwindled. Meanwhile, the number of houseless people sleeping in tents on the side of the highway, in cars under trees in the park, kept mysteriously multiplying. This is the reality in Portland. Everyone who lives here is part of making the reality that is Portlandia. This has been The Case of the Missing Home. Stay tuned to find out what happens next.